Hey, Bushmaster Trapper 1 here. Gonna do another knife review. If you hear any background noises, that's just my dad mowing the lawn. Anyway, this is a knife review of the Victorinox Recruit. I believe it's the Recruit. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, which are always welcome. We have the red handle scales, which are sort of a tradition, and sort of like the original color, I guess. And we have the telltale little shield with a cross in the middle. We have a split ring right there. Also, one thing you can do is you can take these scales off and interchange them. I personally never have, but I just know it can be done. Let's do a rundown of the tools. First of all, we have a large spear blade. Also, what I want to say is that these knives, it's amazing how they can pump out so many a day. It's like, and still have great quality. They can pump out their machines up to 200,000 of each model a day. Of course, they don't do that. It's a supply and demand, but that's what their machines are capable of. So yeah, you know, with being able to mass produce them so well, so largely, it's amazing that they're able to get them to the quality standards that they're at. Anyway, also this knife is very sentimental to me because it was my second knife ever, my very second knife that I ever got. So you know, I was quick to recognize quality because I believe today that Victorinox and Wenger are probably the two best Swiss Army knife makers that there are. There might be some, I'm sure there's some like a custom maker that makes them better. Actually, I don't know about that because, you know, a custom Swiss Army knife maker, that's pretty unheard of. Have you ever heard of that? I haven't. A custom maker of Swiss Army knives. If you've heard of one or you know one, please let me know in the comments. They're always welcome. Anyway, the blade. Let's move on to the blade. They're all stamped metal. They've been heat treated well. It's very sharp. Being stainless steel, it takes an edge very well. But it doesn't hold. Being stainless steel, it's also softer, so it holds an edge pretty well too. I mean, no, so it doesn't hold an edge as well. Messed up there. But you can get it very sharp. You don't have to sharpen it too much, though. Also, I actually experienced this before, being softer. Instead of snapping like a lot of knives would, it bends, which I am a bit thankful for. This knife didn't do that. This knife was always perfectly fine. It was my Huntsman, which I think I mentioned in my review of the Huntsman. It bent, and luckily it did, because I don't know what I would have done if I just snapped the tip off. But luckily I was able to bend it back. Yeah, you got, I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if we can get some shade. Victorinox Swiss-made stainless. That basically tells you, if it doesn't say that, it's not a Victorinox, a real Victorinox. It doesn't matter if it says that or not. And Officer Swiss. Which I'm not sure what that means, but, you know, you can't know everything. But even with this high polished finish, you have it like picks up fingerprints really well. So now I have to wait a second. I'm just not gonna be able to look at this. Just regular toilet paper. There, it's perfectly It's perfect now. Now let's move on to the second tool. We have this one. This is also high polish, so you can get fingerprints on this one too, which there's another one now, so I have to wipe this off because I'm not going to be able to live with myself if I don't. This makes a good secondary blade. Also, if you're like carving or something for getting into detail, or opening your mail, things like that. Again, it's going to be softer, and it's not going to hold an edge as well, but it's going to take an edge really well. And it also doesn't rust. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Stainless steel, high polished stainless steel does not rust at all. It doesn't matter how humid you get it, it's not going to rust. So that's one plus. Let's just get that in. Have this, which we have our bottle opener, our cap lifter, which, you know, it works fine. It's a cap lifter. You know, if you're a Swiss Army knife maker and you can't get a cap lifter right, it's sad. There's a wire stripper right there, but one problem with that I found with that is that if you don't have, like, that's a very small wire stripper. If you don't, if you have a wire smaller than that, you can't use it. And if you have wire that's bigger than that, you can't use it. It has to be the exact same gauge as that. Like, I like the Leathermans, how it's just, or like a lot of them, that's just a V, because it doesn't matter how small or big it is. Well, it matters how big it is, because eventually you're going to get too big, but you can go pretty big, and it doesn't matter how small it gets. And the screwdriver, now, not like the other Swiss Army knives, the other two Swiss Army knives that I just did. This one works fine. Back springs are nice too. They're pretty good. But yeah, this one, you're not gonna have the best grip because it's polished, but it doesn't fold on you as you're doing anything. So that's nice. And we have this one, which is a can opener. Victorinox has my favorite can opener ever. It's just like, because you have that, which, because it's with a sharp edge, it actually can be used as a blade if you actually have to do it. Like, this can be used as a box cutter, because that's actually pretty sharp. Like, if I ran my finger against it and put pressure, I'd cut myself. So, you know, this would make a great box cutter. And again, this thing, it's not going to have the best grip because it's polished. But again, it's not folding on you. And this can be used for like skinning things like rabbits or something. Now we have our tweezers. And these are great tweezers, actually. It's not going to fall apart. It's not going to break. It's tweezers, you know. But I do wish one thing is that it was more at an angle so you could dig in for like splinters more. Okay, here's the toothpick. One thing I've said before, and I'll say again, is that a lot of people think it's disgusting to use this, but I don't see that. As long as you wash it, after you use it, you take it out and you use it and you wash it, it'll be fine. It's actually a really simplistic design, you know. You have all these you have all these multi-tools in Swiss Army knives that are like really really like complex, and they have a ton of tools. This doesn't have that many, but it still works fine. Overall, great knife. I love it. That's Bushmaster Trapper 1, out.